So you're new to investing. It can feel like you're totally lost, right? But what if a market legend could give you their most important, battle-tested lessons in just a few minutes? Well, today we're going to decode William O'Neill's secrets to success and basically build you your own personal playbook. Okay, let's get right to it. Before you even think about which stock to buy, there's this one fundamental question you've got to answer. Your answer to this lays the groundwork for absolutely everything else. And that question leads us right here. Look, this is not about hitting home runs right out of the gate. It's all about making sure you can actually stay in the game long enough to even get a chance to swing. This is your #1 rule for survival. And O'Neill is super blunt about this. Get this, even the pros are wrong a lot. Your ego, your pride, those are your biggest enemies here, because we're all hardwired to want to be right. But the market, it doesn't care what you think. The second you can just accept that, hey, you're going to make mistakes, that's the real moment you start paving the way to actually make some money. And you know what? It all really boils down to this one single number. I'm serious. If you walk away with just one thing today, let it be this. This number, it's your shield, it's your safety net. It's probably the most powerful rule you'll have in your entire investing toolkit. So here it is. O'Neill literally calls this your insurance policy against a catastrophic loss. Think about it like fire insurance on your house. You hope you never have to use it, right? But it's there to stop a total disaster. This is a purely mechanical rule that protects you from yourself. And when he says no exceptions, he means absolutely no exceptions. Now this slide right here, this is exactly why that, oh, I'll just wait for it to come back strategy is so dangerous. I mean, just look at the math here. A 50% drop means you need a 100% gain just to get back to where you started. That's insane. The deeper a hole you let yourself get into, the harder it is to climb back out. And that 8% rule, it stops you from ever grabbing the shovel in the first place. All right, so you've got your survival rule down. So, what's next? How do you actually get started without, getting totally burned? Well, the first steps are actually surprisingly simple. It really just comes down to these 3 basic steps. Step 1, find a reputable broker. 2, open a cash account. Super important, not a margin account where you're playing with borrowed money. And 3, start small. O'Neill suggests something like $500 to $1,000. See, this isn't about getting rich overnight. This is about getting some real-world skin in the game, safely. Knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. And O'Neill is crystal clear on this. Stay away from these common traps that so many beginners fall into. Those low-priced stocks? Yeah, they might look like a steal, but trust me, they're usually cheap for a very good reason. And this idea of over-diversifying, owning way too many stocks, it just means you can't possibly keep track of what you own, which kind of defeats the whole purpose, doesn't it? And this just perfectly captures the mindset shift you have to make. You are not a bargain hunter here. You are buying a piece of a truly great business. Think about it. Would you rather own a tiny piece of a diamond or a giant pile of junk? Quality, it always wins in the long run. Okay, so we've covered the survival rule, and we've talked about the practical first steps. But let's be real, the biggest battlefield isn't the market. It's that 6 inches of space right between your ears. We have to talk about human nature. The legendary trader Jesse Livermore said this over 100 years ago, and honestly, it has never been more true. You can trace every single investing mistake back to one of these 2 powerful emotions. And O'Neill's whole system? It's basically built from the ground up to keep them from taking over. Now this might actually surprise you. The most dangerous emotion for an investor, it's not greed, it's hope. Hope is that thing that makes you just sit there and watch a stock drop 10%, then 20%, then 50%. It's that little voice in your head whispering, oh, it'll come back, all while your hard-earned money is just vanishing. Hope is the mortal enemy of your 8% rule. So what O'Neill wants you to do is completely flip that script. The emotion you should be feeling when a stock drops 8%, it's fear. Now, I'm not talking about panic. I mean a disciplined, productive kind of fear. It's the fear of that small, manageable loss turning into an absolutely devastating one. That's the fear that fuels your discipline. It forces you to stick to the rule and sell. Okay, so if you can't trust your own emotions, what can you trust? You need a system. A solid set of rules that replaces all those gut feelings and personal opinions with a proven, time-tested approach that just works. And that system, it's built on these core habits. You follow your rules, period, no matter what. You actually study the history of the biggest winning stocks to see what they all have in common, what really works. You do a post-game analysis on every single trade you make, whether you won or lost, so you can learn from it. And you never, ever average down. That means you don't buy more of a stock as its price is falling. That's just throwing good money after bad. Now this is a really humbling but also incredibly empowering truth. The market has no idea who you are. And frankly, it doesn't care about your background. It doesn't care how smart you think you are. It's a totally impartial machine. And that's exactly why a system based on rules is so darn powerful. The rules, they're the great equalizer. And really, that is what this whole thing boils down to. Success in the market isn't about having some secret hidden knowledge. It's about discipline. William O'Neill has laid out the roadmap, the rules that have been proven to work decade after decade. The only real question left for you is this: will you have the discipline to actually follow them?